The number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft goes to the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, that was interesting. With the most recent 2025 draft lottery, the Dallas Mavericks got the number one overall pick despite only having a 1.8% chance. This ignited a new round of theories, so I decided to dig into the history of allegations surrounding the draft lottery and see how this latest development could fit into a history of perceived riggings. Starting with the Knicks drafting Patrick Ewing in 1985. The NBA draft lottery started in 1985, after the NBA eliminated the coin flip system, which gave the two worst teams in each conference an equal chance to have the first overall pick. The first lottery system involved a random drawing of an envelope from a hopper. Inside each envelope was the name of a non-playoff team. The team whose envelope was drawn first would get the first overall pick. The process was then repeated until all the lottery picks were determined. The first ever draft lottery, of course, led to the first ever allegations. One of the biggest franchises in the league, the New York Knicks, landed a generational talent in Patrick Ewing. They had decent odds with 14.29%, but still the first ever draft lottery and it going to the Knicks created conspiracy theories. People speculated that the envelope was tampered with, either bent or most popularly frozen, so whoever was picking the envelope knew what to look for. 2 years later, the NBA got rid of the envelope method. It wasn't until 2003 where people again would question the authenticity of the draft lottery. The Cleveland Cavaliers won the 2003 draft lottery, allowing them to draft LeBron James, who coincidentally grew up right outside of Cleveland, Ohio. The Cavs were the worst team in the league this year, meaning they had the highest odds. At 22.5%, they had an almost 1 in 4 chance at drafting him anyways. For this draft, there's no evidence of manipulation, but still, it seems a little too picture perfect that a city like Cleveland that had terrible luck in sports ended up with a hometown hero to basically save their franchise. 2 more of these picks are actually around the Cavs, so stay tuned for that. Actually, here's one right now. The Cavaliers won the lottery using a pick they acquired from the Los Angeles Clippers. The pick had a 2.8% chance of being number 1. Interestingly enough, the Cavs had a 15.6% chance of winning the lottery with their own pick, but instead they got air quotes lucky with this lower position. Another reason this pick came with controversy is it came just after a year LeBron James left for Miami. This pick of Kyrie Irving gave the Cavs a great chance to rebuild, which eventually led to more playoff runs and a 2016 championship. A year later, in 2012, the New Orleans Hornets secured Anthony Davis as the number 1 overall pick. The reason there's allegations around this pick, because at the time the Hornets were recently purchased by the NBA. They had a 13.7% chance to win, but because of the league's ownership of the team, this generated more conspiracy theories around the draft lottery. It was obvious the NBA wanted the Hornets to succeed because they were owners in the team. So adding a player like Anthony Davis to the roster increased the value of the team, which could help them find a buyer for the franchise at a higher value. But the truth is, the Hornets had a high chance to get that anyways. So it's up to you if you think there was any tampering involved in that situation. Actually, 2 more of these conspiracy theories on this list surround Anthony Davis in some way, shape, or form, so stick around for that. But first, the third Cavs conspiracy theory. The 2014 NBA draft, the Cleveland Cavaliers win the lottery for the 3rd time in 4 years, this time with just a 1.7% chance. This streak was a first in NBA history, so everybody got a little suspicious. But the conspiracy theories really ramped up later that summer, when the Cavs used this number 1 overall pick to trade to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Kevin Love. Again, no evidence to these claims, but for Cleveland, this directly led to them making multiple finals appearances and winning the NBA championship. The next theory is the second that involves Anthony Davis, the 2019 NBA draft. Zion Williamson had been viral for years, and everybody lined up for the chance to draft him. the New Orleans Pelicans won the draft with just a 6% chance. But again, this win came at just the right time for the franchise. Anthony Davis had just requested a trade, and this was terrible news for a small market team that had struggled in the past. This led to theories that the NBA would intervene in the draft lottery to stabilize certain franchises. The draft lottery process is overseen by auditors, but still people are gonna speculate. And it does seem weird that all these franchises lose these big stars, then immediately get rewarded in the draft lottery process. Finally, the 2025 draft lottery, and the third lottery that involves Anthony Davis. The Dallas Mavericks won with a 1.8% chance, the fourth lowest chance in draft history. This has positioned them perfectly to draft Cooper Flagg, who is viewed as a franchise cornerstone and is seen as somebody who could be one of the new faces of the NBA. But despite the Mavericks having terrible odds, the reason everybody thinks this draft is rigged is because the Mavericks orchestrated one of the craziest trades in NBA history, which was sending Luka-Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Doncic was seen as an untradeable player that him and almost any executive in the league did not think was on the trading block. On top of that, the Lakers have always been seen as the NBA's holy grail franchise. So with Luka joining an aging LeBron James, people saw it as possibly giving LeBron another chance to win a ring before his career ends. The Mavericks said they did it to win now, but they were in the NBA Finals just a year earlier, and Anthony Davis and Kyrie and Klay Thompson are all very injury prone, so it didn't make sense to most people. So the current theories are this was some sort of backdoor deal done between the league and the Mavericks and the Lakers, basically repaying the Mavs for getting Luka to the Lakers. And in return, they got somebody who could help them win now and they could build around for the next 20 years. Is the draft lottery rigged? See, the thing is, no matter what the NBA does, everybody's gonna say it's rigged, whether it be envelopes or ping pong balls. Are these just coincidence? We'll never know, but it's always fun to theorize.